Hey guys, I'm Brian from Three Ravens Bushcraft, and what I'm going to talk to you today about is shelters that I see a lot in stores, and I think they kind of give people a bit of a false sense of security. And so I just want to kind of go over those shelters, kind of give you the goods and the bads, if you will, and then let you make your own choice. So most shelters that we see are tarps. So with tarps, this is one I like in particular because it's got a really nice shiny reflective side on one side, and then on the other side it's got a bright red opposite side or back side of it, and it even still kind of shines a little bit of light through it, so that's nice. It's also made of kind of a ripstop material, so it's durable, and it's going to work really well for us. So with this one here, we can use this as a quick lean-to type shelter. All we need to do is just take a piece of paracord, string it between two trees, so that's roughly 6 feet and a bit, so that's not too bad. Just use like a truckee hitch on here for tensioning. Good. Now I've got a ridge line. Your ridge line should be at your shoulder height. Anything higher than that and you're wasting space and you're taking away from your shelter's ability to retain heat. Okay, next thing you're going to do is just take your cloth and put it over so that's that. And then if I were to string this out, obviously you can see how this would be a lean-to shelter, right? Nice and easy. Okay, so that's a tarp. And again, this one here, like I said, a little 6x8. A little 8x5. Sorry, and nice and easy. Okay, the next one I'm going to show you is this Mylar blanket. Okay, so this Mylar blanket shows up a lot in survival manuals, that it's going to save our lives. Well, first of all, it's not really a blanket. It doesn't really have any R value. And how this would probably work better is that if we take this, fold it kind of in half here, so there's center. Take this now and put a hole in it, because it's not very durable the way it is. And then if I take this off, actually even one better, take this off, stick this on my body, and now stick my shirt over it. Now I've got this Mylar blanket working probably the way it should. So it isn't very pretty, But the beauty of it is that the whole point of a Mylar blanket is that it reflects your own body heat. And if it has to try to reflect that body heat through 3 layers of wool, it's probably not going to do it all that well. If I stick it close to my body, then it's going to start warming up my skin, and that heat is going to warm up, and then more radiation from my body is going to happen, and then that means I'll warm up even better. Okay? So I'm just going to leave this on for a while. It's a little goofy, but that's fine. The next thing I see a lot is a Mylar tube tent. So here we have a tent that is made, and we have this awesome tube tent. Now, the problem with this is that it's not very big, and so I could take it and try to crawl inside. That probably wouldn't work very well. So I need to put my ridge line through it. The other thing is that my ridge line will be way too high, so it needs to come down. So it's about -1 out right now, so I'm not in the high Arctic here where I'm going to be freezing. So if you're wondering how well is that Mylar blanket working, it's okay. So now I have my tube tent, and if I were to pull it out and take a stick, stick it in here to open it up. And there we go. We have a tube tent. Now, this is supposed to be really good for obviously bouncing back the heat on top of you. We know some designs of things like the super shelter that Morse Kohansky makes, or maybe the Harleton Hacienda that Kelly Harleton made, is kind of superior to this. So this is a couple dollars at your dollar store, and it would probably keep you somewhat dry, but it's not very long. It's not very big. It's definitely not very durable, and both ends are open. So if we were to use this as our shelter and crawl into it, then I think we would have to take it and to cover the ends to get the best that we could out of it, but I don't really see that happening. And so this would probably be even better if we took it and cut the slit down the one side and use that as a rain barrier on the back of our shelters, like our thermal mass shelter lean-to. Okay, and then so that's the Mylar tube tent. And then the other one I see is the emergency tent. And I'm going to bring this one up because I want you to see the people inside that are sleeping ever so nicely. And boy, that doesn't look like so much of a shelter that you need to worry about at all. In fact, I mean, if I'm going to survive, that seems like the real deal. All this tube tent is essentially this, but in plastic. Again, it's like a tarp. So if we were to go and cut ends in it, we could or cut the slit in it, we could make it into one giant tarp. But as it sits as a tube tent, laying right on the cold ground, not having any protection from the wind because both ends are open, it doesn't really fit a good survival shelter for us. So these are some man-made shelters that people would trust their life to, and I hope that I've just given you some ideas, and so that you would look at these survival shelters maybe a little differently, and then possibly you can do your own thing with them and get the best results out of them. So the Mylar blanket, very pretty. The Mylar tube tent, the regular tube tent made of plastic, and a tarp. To me, I'm going to pick this tarp probably 9 times out of 10 because it's got so many good roles that it can do besides just do these little things like this. So have fun out in the woods. Stay out in the woods as long as you can and enjoy it. And hopefully I'll meet you later. Take care. Cheers.